My name is Victor Unebu, and you already know what I do. I like to bring panacea to relationship ills, and I like to bring solutions to diverse domestic violence, spousal killings, and child abuse. And today, I want to talk about topics that have been lingering in my mind. Recently, I engaged into a debate, and this debate opened my mind to certain things people have been ignoring. These are certain questions that are necessary for one to ask before they delve into any relationship. So this leads us to these three topics that are very vital. People must discuss before they become partners. And the first one is being faithful difficult? And oftentimes people have argued and argued and argued about being faithful. Some men say it is in their nature to be polygamous, therefore it is impossible to be faithful, and they can get as many wives as possible in as much as they are the head of the home and they're taking care of the home. So that's, and then people think, and people are tired of discussing this topic. And if you say yes, one can be faithful, or and if you say no, one may not be faithful, you may be right or wrong. However, we understand that being faithful it's difficult because you have a whole lot of role to play. However, if we say one is not faithful, the thing that will come to your mind is cheating. If you're not being faithful, then you're cheating. And then when we talk about cheating, you might think it's just physical cheating. We have emotional cheating. How about the extra DMs that have been coming into you and the way you've been replying them? Persons of interest, you've been flirtatiously liking their pictures on Facebook, and you've been making some kind of comments and replies that may emotionally affect your partner. So this is another type of cheating which shows you're not being faithful. Are you having some sort of chat or some sort of communication that your partner may bump into and will not face emotional trauma? So these are topics that are very vital for people to discuss. So the second point here is whether it is healthy to argue in a relationship. So I hate to prefer definite answers to emotional or subjective subjects. However, some people say if my partner feels we have to argue, that means he has agreed that he is a troublemaker. However, there are persons who are having successful relationships after arguing about different topics, and others are having successful relationships by tackling it within themselves and being okay. It's relative. People choose to keep quiet, others choose to. However, it is healthier to tackle those things and then drop it there, because sometimes it becomes heavier in your mind, and then the day you're going to talk about it, then you're going to explode. I feel it is more important to discuss those things. But however, you need to avoid argument. One person at some point needs to surrender. So argument differs from debate. Debating about a particular thing, and then a person surrenders to the debate and the other person wins, or two of you come to conclusion that this is the answer to what has been troubling you people. I feel that's better than delving into arguments. Arguments leads to fights, and fight leads to abuse. The third one is whether it is right for you to have the social media passwords of your significant other in a committed relationship. So I was watching my favorite pastor, Kingsley Okonkwo, on Instagram Live, where he told his viewers that he was privy to the wife's phone and the wife was privy to his. There are no passwords, nothing to hide. And he also stated that if you're in a faithful relationship, or if you're faithful in your relationship or marriage, that you have nothing to hide. Therefore, why do you want to hide your devices? Again, there's a story of a man who was charged to court by the ex-wife for stepping into her email and then having access to it, and discovering she was having an extramarital affair as at the time they were married. And this man argued that she always drops her password under the desktop, so that was where he found it and then entered the mail. And this was because there were suspicions of extramarital affair as at the time they were married, which led to their divorce. Again, I do not think that if visions of a man and a woman are aligned, that they will have time to be unfaithful to the extent, or they would even have time to think that one is cheating on the other. And some people argue that if their spouses ask them questions and the answer, that they ought to believe that they were honest. So why would they want to delve into their devices? It's not even like if you step into a man's device to find out he was cheating, that it will make him to stop cheating. At the time you've accused him over and over again. So I think we should engage into dialogue and pray. And I think by praying, God is going to assist to ensure that such things that distract our matrimonial homes for being peaceful will be put to a stop. I'd like you to stay in touch because by next week I'm bringing you a very wonderful topic. I hope you enjoyed the section. Stay tuned to my YouTube channel for more interesting topics.